Here again
Thanks
with the
for bringing
deadline.
it up.
Yeah, with the deadline to file your taxes only 2 months away. Now's the time to get everything together, but then also be aware of, it feels like every year the rules are changing, the laws
constantly.
are changing. Obviously, the so-called Big Beautiful Bill changes things up a little bit. So we wanted to speak with someone who could really help us through this process. Robbin Caruso is co-partner at Prager Metis. Robbin, I would imagine right now your phone is blowing up, not just from clients, but also friends and family who just need that real quick answer, really quick. Let me grab you. I got a quick tax question. Do you get a lot of those this time of year?
Oh, yes, absolutely. Good morning. I want to tell you it's great to be here on Valentine's Day of all things. I have a special place in my heart for Chicago. My husband and I actually met in Chicago.
Oh, love that. Well, honestly, we got to get you back. We'd love to have you back. But what do you think people need to know that's maybe different this year compared to any other year? Because it does feel like every single year this is different, which causes me to have to, every time I think I've got it down, the rules are changing.
The rules change frequently. And as Mark said, one of the first things to do is start gathering all of that information that you have and get ready for tax season. I think the biggest thing that people really need to do this tax season is understand all of the many new provisions that we have, and most likely speak to a tax advisor would be very helpful in this year in particular, because they have a lot of new deductions, there are new credits, there are new phase outs higher. There are a lot of enhancements. There's a lot of things that are wonderful for us. And an interesting thing is that some of the provisions are kicking in right now in 25 for us. So they're retroactive, they're for the whole year 25. Others aren't starting till 26. So just as important as getting ready for this tax season is planning for 2026 to ensure you're taking advantage of all the benefits available to you and getting the best end results that you can.
It is so seldom that I hear a tax professional say there are wonderful things for us. Can you tell us 2 or 3 things that come to mind that will be wonderful for us coming up this year?
Okay, so they've increased the standard deduction a bit and made it permanent. So when Tax Cuts and Jobs Act came out and increased the standard deduction, which is applicable to most taxpayers, take standard deduction, not itemized anymore. And then if you do itemize, they have increased the state and local tax deduction from $10,000 all the way up to $40,000. So if you're itemizing, most people are going to get that $40,000 or up to that, depending on what you paid. But they're going to get that expanded deduction because it doesn't phase out till $500,000. And then there's lots of new deductions. There are the qualifying tips deduction. There's overtime. Not a lot. What just happened?
That's okay. We
still got you.
Yeah.
You're good.
You still have me? Okay, well, I lost you on my end, but if you could hear me.
Well, it's better that we have you than you have us.
Okay. I can't see anything. So the tips deduction is for up to $25,000. There's an overtime deduction. That is for the extra half or the extra half. If somebody gets time and a half, it's not the whole extra time and a half for overtime. It's the extra half with the time and a half for that. So it's kind of interesting. And then there's a great senior deduction. The senior deduction is an extra $6,000 deduction for those over 65 that fall under the threshold. And the other amazing thing about these new deductions, they're good for 25 through 28, and you could take them whether you itemize or not. So the tips deduction, overtime, the senior deduction, and also a new interest deduction. If you buy a personal use vehicle this year and you have interest, for the next few years, you could take a deduction for that if that qualifies. So lots of good things.
Yeah, I like good things.
Lots of good things. Robbin, we got just about a minute left. Before we go, what do you think is the biggest mistake people make around this time of year, that as they're starting to get everything together, as Mark is, as I need to be, that maybe if we let them know about it now, maybe they can avoid it?
The biggest mistake people make is filing a tax return that isn't complete or accurate. I always encourage taxpayers to gather all your information. Take a look at what you had on last year's tax return. Make sure you're not missing anything. If something hasn't come to you yet and you can't file properly, file a tax extension. Remember, an extension is an extension to file, not an extension to pay, and we don't want penalties. So failure to file a timely tax return or a tax extension is going to cause you to get 5% a month penalty up to 25% automatically tacked on. So I think the most important thing to protect yourself is to make sure you either file a tax return or file your extension with payment. Avoid those ugly penalties. That's a great start. And one thing I also would like to say, because we're in Illinois here, is that it's really important for taxpayers to remember the states, and that goes for all states. So just because the OBBBA came out and said you have all these new wonderful deductions that we just talked about, you don't necessarily get those in your state. Illinois is a rolling conformity state. That means they automatically adopt everything that the IRS does, but they frequently elect or opt out, decline to accept all the provisions. So those tips, they're not good in Illinois, only on your federal.
That's right. We've learned here over the years, what the Fed giveth, the state taketh away.
Robbin Caruso, co-partner, Prager Metis. Robbin, we truly do appreciate your time, and happy Valentine's Day to you and your husband, and we love that you guys had that Chicago connection.
Well, thank you. Have a wonderful weekend.
You too.